A lot of people are scared to, face their own fears and, look themselves in the eye because they don't want to see the real. But you got to do that every morning to know who you really are and not be jaded, with this crazy world, because it will taint you. So you do that every morning, you'll be humble.
We gon' be alright.
Rapper Kendrick Lamar leads the field with 11.
I respect Kendrick so much as an artist. First of all, I love the incorporation of jazz and funk into his music and not shying away from it just because it's not, mainstream.
If you could pick 3 artists to collaborate with, deceased or living, who would they be? Oh, that's easy. Tupac, of course.
It was a moment that changed the landscape of music forever.
No changes. Wake up in the morning.
You realize how much of an influence he really did have and that how big of a deal it was. I guess I realize it more now than I did 20 years ago.
It's just for real, you know what I'm saying? And we run out of to butter, so.
Where's the music going? Is it going to get harder?
I don't know, it depends on balls, and got big nuts like me, it's going to get way harder. It's got little nuts, it's going to start getting back to a different type of rap, you know what I'm saying? Partying and all of that type, because that's what we talk about when they don't let us talk about what we really want to talk about. So it depends, you can listen to the rap.
Pac was a prophet to me, and everything he's talking about is actually going on today, you know what I'm saying? So if what I'm putting in my music is an act of God and he using me as a vessel, what makes me any different from somebody being in church and giving their word?
A line as far as the eye can see as thousands waited in line at a Compton Best Buy today to meet famous rapper Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar was born and raised in Compton. He's known, as his success has grown, to give back to his community.
Now, there's been a lot of mixed reviews behind the album. Some people feel like you're being too preachy.
Preachy.
How do you feel about the reception of the album?
I feel great about the reception of the album.
There's also parts in the album where you speak to Lucy, Lucifer,
it's trippy.
The devil. So
it's trippy.
You see both sides of.
Yeah, man. It's when I go inside, I may do an after party. I see it all around, man. I may do an after party, and this is how I'll be able to write these records, because it's not just the positive energy that speaks to me. It's the negative too. It's the evils too, and we all have temptations.
Right.
He says what's most impressive about Chance is that he's been able to achieve success without the backing of a major label. And he won not once, but 3 times last night, beating out records by Drake and Kanye West. The Jones College prep grad credits his higher power for his tremendous success.
But unlike almost every other artist out there, Chance works for himself.
I know people think that independence means you do it by yourself, but independence means freedom. I do it with these folks right here. Glory be to God. I claim the victory in the name of the Lord. Let's go!
That went on to earn Chance 3 Grammys.
Once again, I want to thank God.
me, I'm just fortunate enough to translate them temptations through record.
Right.
You know, I always said that this is truly a gift for me. Putting these records out is a gift for me because I'm not only a voice for myself, but I'm a voice for people who can't express themselves like that.
Right.
And Lucy is one of my favorite records because it's me actually coming to realization of the evils rather than acting like it's not going around. My faults are not happening. My faults are happening right in front of my face. I gotta present them.
It's really interesting now in with what's going on in hip hop. You seem, it's almost like you're a throwback to when lyrics mattered, because it feels like so much of hip hop today is more about vibe and swag and personality and less about words. And it sometimes sounds like even the MC doesn't know what he's saying on today's record. Right. So it's interesting to hear the sort of clarity and depth that you go lyrically. I know some artists get lost in touring and they become less relatable. Like the stuff they have to write about doesn't relate because all they know is being on stage and accolades and hotels and like stuff that's like their reality is so different than everybody else's reality that it's not so interesting. Definitely. Especially if that's all you talk about.
Definitely. It's definitely a different, it's a like to call it a cartoon world, you know, and you can really get lost in it so fast, you know. It's scary out there. It's so scary, man. And
but it reminded me a little bit of Snoop. And Murder Was the Case. Where
Of
he
course.
had that conversation with the devil, with Lucifer, and that temptation was in his face. And
of course,
it seems like a metaphor for something, but so you see this temptation that
he is the greatest of all time. So Kendrick is just, he is the people's champ.
Many people in line drove miles to wait in a line that wrapped around the corner and seemed to just go on and on and on. Kendrick Lamar said he wouldn't stop signing until every person who waited got an autograph.
Everything has a contradiction. Everything is, you know, higher rankings, and is way beyond us, way beyond people. So basically, do what you do good with your people, and live your life, because what's going on is not really in our hands. If not in the president's hands, then it's definitely not in yours. Take that. So come on. Yeah, when I say the president can't even control the world, then you know it's definitely something else that's out there, you know, that's really pushing the buttons, you know, so they can do whatever they want to do. He's been doing it for years. We all puppets. Just play your cards right.
always focus on the music, have passion for the music. Don't let the money and the cars motivate you to doing music. If you stay true to the actual art, to the actual culture, to the actual creativity of it all, everything else will follow behind that. That's the first thing you chase. Don't chase nothing else, because what happens is you start to become an artist by numbers, and you want to do that because you're going to be following each and every other person's steps, and those steps may not be your steps.